So, this is a video I really didn't want to make. I kept telling myself I'm just overreacting or I just needed to wait it out, but at this point, I feel like I do have some valid concerns with the current state and the future of Destiny 2 going into the final shape. So, yeah. As of recording this, there has been a period of time where there have been constant server issues, on top of lackluster seasonal content and story up to this point. Lightfall story was widely seen as a major disappointment, according to reviews and almost everyone that I've seen talking about it online, and is only now starting to be explained in short, sometimes unrelated audio logs releasing at a weekly pace, even though Bungie said that these missions would explain everything that they failed to explain during the length of the Lightfall campaign. I don't doubt that we'll eventually see the bigger picture, but as of right now, I'm almost entirely uninterested in the logs as they have little relevance to what the Veil is and only give some vague anecdotes from Chioma Essie regarding the effects of the Veil on the first settlers of Neomuna and the relationship with Maya Sundaresh. While they're interesting in their own right, these audio logs are little more than glorified lore books given the grace of voice acting, and like I said a minute ago, fail to properly explain what the Veil actually is and why it's important to the plot at all. Again, I'm sure this is going to be explained over time, but it feels like players' patience was already very thin in regards to the story, and the weekly drip of content that should have already been in the campaign does not help that growing impatience with Bungie's story team. Season of Defiance was equally as unrelated and confusing, since it was never really explained why the Witness, a universal level power, needs to kidnap random Elixian humans. The death of Amanda Holiday felt unnecessary and really did not need to happen. What purpose does her death even serve narratively? Why did Bungie feel the need to kill off a beloved character in a random story mission in content that will not see its lifespan extend past the release of Destiny's next expansion? That was the only relevant event in the entirety of Season of Defiance, and everything else just feels inconsequential in the grand scheme of the war against the Witness. Season of the Deep story and content is much better compared to Season of Defiance, but there still seems to be an empty feeling among the community. I've talked to multiple people and seen various posts on Reddit and other online platforms talking about this emptiness, despite the quality of the released seasonal content during Season 21. With the announcement of Marathon, it's come to the attention of the community that many members of Destiny 2's development team will be moving over to work on the newly announced Marathon extraction shooter. A common sentiment that I'm seeing is a feeling of betrayal or a feeling of abandonment. I understand that dev teams come and go and resources need to be allocated, especially when starting a new project that the team is passionate about. I'm personally really looking forward to Marathon, and I'm super excited for all of the awesome devs that get to work on the team making the game. However, I am also a little scared regarding the current state of Destiny 2 and how this may or may not continue into final shape. Splitting the team like this to work on a new project right in the development window of the final shape can seem like a bit of a gut punch to longtime fans of the Destiny games. We're right at the end of the original 10-year plan, and a good portion of the Destiny dev team is being shifted to make their new game a reality, while their currently released title seems to be on life support with its servers and other aspects. It doesn't help that the game's stability has been declining, while Bungie also announced the increased pricing for their single purchase seasons, as well as increasing the price for yearly expansions with the release of Lightfall. Given the perception of Lightfall's campaign, this seems to many like a move to squeeze out as much money from Destiny as they can, while the quality of the content released stagnates and declines. After Witch Queen and its seasons, many thought that Bungie had finally hit their stride with their writing and content development, and now that we're a couple months into the life of Lightfall, many are disappointed and are potentially questioning their future interest in the game and franchise as a whole. I love Destiny. It's been my favorite game for a long time, and I don't think that's going anywhere, but I'm finding it really hard to find the motivation to play right now, and that hasn't happened since Shadowkeep's release and the Season of Undying. This puts me into my next point. I think it's time to take a break from Destiny 2 if you're in a similar spot mentally right now. If you're enjoying the game, keep enjoying it. There's nothing stopping you from doing that. I'm glad you're having a good time. But for others that share my sentiment, the game isn't holding you hostage. There are a brilliant choice of other games released this year with more to come that you can enjoy and experience, and I would actively encourage you to do so. Outside of gaming, you can pursue more hobbies or build your skill set in different areas. It's healthy to take breaks, and this is a great reminder that this game is not your life. It can be a big part of it, but sometimes you just need to take a break for a few months and come back later when the game is in a better state. Right now, I'm working on the latest Savage rating tier in Final Fantasy XIV. It's been really refreshing learning new raids and hanging out with with new people. I've got a good outlet for my want to do hard gaming content, and I'm doing something that I enjoy that's not Destiny. I still love Destiny, and that doesn't mean that I won't be making content for the game here and there throughout the next few months. I just wanted to say this as a reminder to those of you who may have a hard time processing your complex feelings regarding the state of Destiny 2. I may be optimistic, but I fully expect Destiny 2 to make a recovery before the release of the final shape. The devs at Bungie are world-class, and this may just be a period of transition while the new teams learn to work better together. Game development is really fucking difficult, and developing an ever-changing universe like Destiny is even more so. What I say here is not meant to offend or to make Bungie look bad. I'm just voicing my concerns and thoughts regarding my feelings on the game in its current state. I am frustrated, but I'm optimistic. I'm looking forward to what we see from the Destiny 2 dev team in the coming months, but for now, I think it's healthy for me and others to take a step back and understand that every game is going to have its ups and downs, even if those down periods feel extended and drawn out. The benefit of taking a break in this situation is pretty obvious from my standpoint. You're able to enjoy other things and then hop back into the game when there's a mountain of content to churn through in anticipation for the final expansion of the Light and Dark saga. You'll have a better idea of the last 2 seasons and what happened leading up to the expansion's release, and I won't say that taking a break is easy, because it isn't, especially since Destiny 2 is a game that can't really be replicated. From the gunplay to the characters, raids, and dungeons, it's all unique and amazing in its own right, and it can be hard to leave that for a while when you enjoy it. But if you're simply not having fun, just take a break. Don't force yourself to play if you're not enjoying it. The game won't go away. You can always come back to it, especially so close to the release of the final shape. Final thought, don't harass the devs. They're doing their best. And if you harass them, you're only making their job harder and you're making things worse. And you have to realize that there are actual human beings behind the code, art, and story of the game. Be kind and don't be a dick. With that, my name's KaylieTheLazy. Take care, Guardians.